right. There were days when you start trying to please the crowd. When they're unforgiving, there are easier ways to make a living.
G'day all, it's Peps, it's J-Dog. It's Lace out here for our magnificent Round 2 Finals recap. And I'd have to say, J-Dog, it was one of the greatest games ever seen in semi-final action that kicked off a magnificent round of finals footy action. And we're here to talk about it. So we're down to the final four. We're heading into prelim weekend. I tell you what, you're with Lace Out. You're with Peps, the 377 game superstar of the East Keilor Football Club. And with me, the great man, Jamie the J-Dog Wallis. He was ranked number 9 in the world for triathlon for his age group. That is the all-star lineup, bringing you the review to talk about the great game you love, AFL football. Big fella, how exciting is everything on and off the field happening in AFL circles right now?
Oh, we've got everything. We've got ex-wags racking up a couple of slugs on a plate. We've got the highs of a 1-point victory. We've got the lows of someone getting off from staging again. Peps, this is we've got it all. This week has really had it all, and I'm excited to join you tonight and talking about it, and also joining our listeners out there and interacting with what they've got to say as well.
I know, and I tell you what, the weekend, it was packed tighter than a Carlton paper bag. That is how much has been going on and off. And
Carlton paper bag or a storm?
Oh, I don't know. But isn't it interesting that even with lockdown, the topic of snow still is able to hit the shockwaves? And who would have thought? Usually it's the snow on the Alps of Mount Buller or Mount Kosciuszko or Lake Mountain. These days, it's snow on a $1.50 Kmart plate that just takes over the news and shapes the finals football action. We just can't escape the snow in September. It's happening everywhere.
Well, I was disappointed. Those lines were just, they're criminal themselves. There should be an investigation. She needs new friends.
She's probably going to need new friends after someone uploaded that on the video. So Nadia, I know, but you know what? She's having a go, and she's strong, and I think that she'll get through it with her millions of dollars sitting behind it.
Stunning and brave, Pep. Stunning and brave.
Stunning and brave. Stunning and brave. But hey, you know what? Let's forget about that. Let's talk about the real action that's happened over the weekend. We're going to get into the footy side of things, but J-Dog, I have to ask you, how was your weekend? Father's Day?
I know.
How good was it?
It was good. Look, it was a cracking Sunday. Saturday was pretty ordinary in terms of weather-wise. It cleared up. Didn't it rain on Friday over and over? It rained for like 7 hours straight. I don't know what it was like down your area.
It was soggy and it was moist. And that was outside.
But good weekend, solid weekend. I look forward to the weekend. So,
and you know what? I can tell you now, for all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day. Absolutely. You deserve it. You're not being able to escape out of the house, to nick down to the shops with all your friends, to sit there and have your cafe latte and talk in a foreign language. I know you're not able to do that at the moment, but you know you will be able to shortly. And to all the dads out there who may not know they're actually dads. Someday you'll get a knock on the door and you'll be able to celebrate like we have over the last couple of weeks. My wife and my daughter made me some beautiful homemade peanut brittle, and I'll tell you what, absolutely
beautiful.
Delicious. So it was Father's Day, and yep, she decided to give half of it away to my dad. So
I stocked up on the lollies this year and the classics, the socks and the jocks.
I got jocks. I got those new Bonds ones, you know, with they've got a bit of
cool balls.
The cool balls.
Yeah, you have hot balls, Peps.
I've got very hot balls.
You should maybe speak to someone about that. There'll be someone on the chat here who's probably got...
Yeah, somebody's got some advice on how to work on my hot balls. I appreciate that. But you know what, J-Dog? Let's get into it, mate. There was plenty of hot ball on the weekend. Yeah, buddy?
Before we say it, well done to Nick, Porches Podcast classmate, podcast sportmate. Good, happy Father's Day, Nick. I saw your stuff over on Facebook on the weekend, and I'm glad to see that your family is doing well and your little boy is doing amazingly well.
Oh, awesome to hear. Awesome. We're all big one community here at Lace Out. We're one big giant AFL loving family. So awesome to see. All right, J-Dog.
Yes.
We're just going to let's get it out of the way.
Let's go for it.
Let's go into it. So we know that we had 2 games on the weekend. The winners to come out of it, we know, were the Western Bulldogs and Geelong as well too. If we put it in perspective, J-Dog, what was the one that stood out to you the most? What was the one that you went, oh, gee, that was I didn't see that one coming either as good or as bad?
Just superficially, I didn't see Brisbane playing that poorly.
Oh, I did. I picked the Doggies by 8 points. I knew it was going to happen. No Hipwood, no Brisbane. It's as simple as that. It's been like that for weeks, J-Dog.
Well, I knew that Geelong would get up, so I wasn't too concerned about it. I think I said 35 points in the end.
Close. You're pretty close. We tipped out on Thursday nights, which we do live as well too for the finals. So that means now if we have a look at it, J-Dog, this is what is going to happen. Crikey, I can't even see that on the screen. Why is that so small?
No, make that bigger.
I've changed it. It's not the logo.
Peps, just do. Yep.
I'll fix it in a second.
That's okay.
But what it is that we're going to be having 2 games this week. Prelim final on Friday night, prelim final on Saturday night. The D's will be taking on the Cats this Friday at Optus Stadium. And that means that your mob is also going to be taking on the Doggies on Saturday night. So 5:50 p.m. or 7:50 p.m. Over here in the eastern states, Melbourne versus Geelong for the first prelim. And the second prelim, we're looking at 7:10 p.m. Adelaide Oval time for the second prelim between yourselves and the Doggies. That's what it went down to. We started with 8, down to 6, and now they're at the final 4. If this was the NCAA championships, this would be the epic. It's the best weekend of AFL football that you're going to see. It's as simple as that.
Do you know this has never happened?
What's never happened? It is hands down the best weekend of footy. Preliminary final weekend.
This has never happened before. In the 8th structure ladder, you know, the forming of the 8 that we get to after, what was it, like 19 something? 2000 something. This has never happened. That the top 4 teams from barring Western Bulldogs falling out around 23 has never happened where all 4 teams have made it to the prelim final. Never happened.
What do you mean? In this
ever in the 8 in the reconfigured 8?
How is that?
I know.
Oh, beautiful. Hey, listen, I just need to say welcome to a few people who are with us as well too. Nude Nuts is on the chat with us tonight. We know that Nikki from the Portress is with us as well too. Hey, Milne's back. St Kilda's not, but good to see him on the show as well too. Hey, not related to me, but good old David Salt. He's up there in close to the border, up there in New South Wales. He's joining us. He's a little bit excited for the D's as well too. So everybody, get on the chat. It's going to be massive. Lots of people. Buzzers back again. He must be getting a little bit excited for Jack Steele potentially winning a Brownlow. We'll see what happens there. But mate, there's so much to talk about. Your highlight of the games on the weekend, was there anything that really stood out to you? Went, wow, that was just awesome.
Well, I guess let's just get stuck into spin the magnets.
Well, let's spin those magnets?
You talk about it. Let's go for it.
Spin those magnets. All right. Well, I reckon we start off with all the good stuff. Let's get a bit of Demetrio action. So can we get a bit of
3 votes?
I'll say that again.
3 votes.
All righty. So the votes for the weekend, J-Dog. Massive start. I'm going to throw it open with you because you wanted to start this one off. So what was your big takeout from the weekend? The one that really got you moist in the loins, if you know what I mean.
Number 1, can you name me anyone worldwide who would have been as nervous as Taylor Duray with that ball coming in with 25 seconds to go, one-on-one in the forward 50 against Charlie Cameron? Name me a more nervous person.
How good was it?
Brilliant. If that ball had just... The funny ball that we've got, if that just bounced up a little bit, Charlie Cameron snap goal, game over.
There has never been a bounce more crucial to the one that Charlie Cameron had than Milne in the 2010 grand final.
Fair point.
That is how, if it went the other way, he was gone.
Yeah.
They picked out to the right-hand side, Taylor Dray, and then even Charlie Cameron's done the old, hey, is that deliberate?
Oh,
come on. He gave him a look.
Yeah,
unbelievable. But Charlie, that was a cracking game. My God, that was the best final I think I've seen. That was better than the one the week before between GWS and Sydney. I reckon I haven't seen a final like that since probably The 2016 one between GWS and the Doggies, that was an absolute belter.
Mm-hmm. That was the Doggies year, that one.
Yeah, it was the Doggies year. And I also think the GWS Collingwood final where GWS just scraped in. It was a crappy day, but that was just, I was at that game and it was just gripping. I know they're two prelims, but just finals footy is just nuts. It's just nothing but, listen, Milne, I'm not having a go at you, but I'm just saying that was the last time a ball had made a difference just from a single bounce to changing the whole overtunes of the game too. So
because Charlie Cameron was goal side. That ball just literally took a little bit of a dip, just past Duray's body, just literally inches to the other side. Yep. Cameron running into a complete open goal line.
And you know what? If I want to take it one step further, I've said plenty of times that I think Stephen Milne is one of the most underrated small forwards in AFL, VFL history.
Oh, okay. You're on Stephen Milne. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a massive Stephen Milne fan, and he should be. If you have a look at his record and you put it up against the Cyril or someone along those lines, he is so much better. I'll take a Milne over a Cyril any day of the week.
Rightio. All right. Can you stop having 15 conversations with all our guests already, please?
Oh, the guests. If we don't have guests, we don't have a show. You know how it works.
That's true. So yeah, that was amazing. That was incredible defending and incredible mental strength to not go to ground, to not give away a free kick, to not do something stupid, and just that was amazing.
Do you know when I saw Taylor Duray up against Charlie Cameron, that brought back memories from me playing down at the Cougars in the back line, and nothing would get past me.
Story time, kids. Grab
story time. Grab yourself a blanket and a pillow, throw on a Snuggie, grab some hot cocoa, and it's story time with Peps. Oh, mate, I loved being one-on-one with someone. It just absolutely tore them apart. You can never – I was Vice-like. I was Vice-like, okay? Yep.
Peps, that is definitely not true.
Hey, there's people on the chat that will attest to it. Exactly right.
Dear.
So, awesome stuff. So that was good. Hey, the one that I wanted to highlight was I really wanted to, because you were going to talk about the Tomahawk and his 5 goals.
Yep.
I wanted to point out Jack McRae. Now, he played an absolute ripper on the weekend. He had 39 possessions going at 59%. Now, I didn't look at the 59% a lot because it's pressure football. You know, there's a lot of people I've played footy with who are on the chat right now, and people who've listened to this. You've played sport at the highest level you possibly can. You've played finals football, finals bocce, finals badminton, finals basketball, whatever you've played.
Yeah.
It just goes up to another level. And, yeah, he went at 59%, but he went at 39 posies. Now, his average for the year is 34, but his disposal efficiency was at 75. So that just goes to show it just takes it up to another level. It just made the pressure across the board.
Yeah.
But he just kept going. And the other one I want to throw on there was Bailey Smith. That ice in his veins, left footer from the pocket. My goodness,
wrong side of his body.
Mate, that brought back memories from the 1990 under-16s preliminary final where I kicked 2 of the greatest goals I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And one of them was like that.
Yeah.
So I could go on all about night, but this is lace out, not Peps out.
Also, whilst we're here, another amazing effort was we've got to give Geelong their props. Give them their props. 12 of the last 18 years they've made prelim final.
Yep.
That's an incredible achievement. After how many times they've been written off, Tomahawk, he's been around there forever.
Is he getting better? Is he Grange? Like he's a walking Hall of Famer.
They're putting people around him that really support and work to his strengths, and kicked 5 on the weekend to show you just how important and how damaging he can be in a game of football.
Yep. He's just getting bigger and better, and you know what I love about him?
Yeah.
When he goes back, most of the time he'll go drop punt.
Yeah. And he looks good.
He's been the most traditional full forward that I've seen playing probably in the last 10 years. And I take Rewalt out of that. I take Lynch out of that. Maybe the other one might be Ben Brown, I would say, because he tends to go straight. Mind you, he takes a Joel Garner run up when he kicks a goal.
Schultz was always a drop punter as well.
Oh, Schultz. How could you? Oh, John Butcher. What about John Butcher? John Butcher, one of the finest to come out of Port Adelaide.
Right, he's back. So watch out.
So there was plenty of good things to come out of the football. It was all, like I said, finals football. It's very hard to spot some bad things, but we happen to have done so. So
we have.
You know what that means, fellas? We need to call the big fella. I know that he's getting a little bit excited for a prelim this week. But this guy, we need to bring him out because we have to do it.
Haley off, Ellingworth on. Bloody weak as piss.
All right, big fella. I'll start it off with you. Where do you want to start? I can see three characters, three little letters in front of me that you want to start this one off with.
I don't go this hard very often because it is. I'll preface this with everything. AFL is the
Hold on. Keep going.
Okay. AFL is the hardest game to adjudicate. It is fast. There are players moving 360. There's no direct lines. It is basically all going on. And it's a huge field. You've got 3 umpires. Hardest game to adjudicate. Then you chuck in the extra layer of rules within rules within rules within context of where they are and when they want to pay it and interpretation. And then you're also expecting umpires to be absolute mind readers in reading intent. So with all that said, there were some absolute shockers. I'm talking the Caleb Daniel deliberate out of bounds. It came off the side of his foot. He was not going for the thing. How can you pay that? That's a critical one. You could have shaped the game potentially, but it's a wrong call, and that should have been addressed. I don't even think I have the strength, Peps. I don't even think I have the strength to talk about Geelong.
I'll take over when you're ready.
Because how does Hawkins hit a bloke 5 seconds after he's taken a mark with an arm across the back of his head, and there is not even a recommendation to have it reviewed? MRO, nothing to see here. If there is not bullshit going on, I smell bullshit.
No. What do you smell?
Bullshit.
Bullshit, mate. Bullshit.
We used to hate Jeff Geeshan. Everyone put their hand up if you hated Jeff Geeshan in the old system of points and this and tables.
I just don't like him. Just didn't like the way it was run.
We did not like it. How is Michael Christians not getting the heat that he deserves? That is, name me a Geelong player who does not ever get up from the chief of the MRO who was an ex-Geelong player. It's bullshit and I hate it, and I'm not saying it's conspiracy, but I'm over it.
He was Collingwood. He was Collingwood. Jamie?
High intent and it was late. Anyone else, that is at least a week.
I thought it was low. What'd you say? Low?
High contact in the head.
Yeah. High contact.
It was intentional.
Yep.
Low force. I'll give it that.
So
there wasn't much in it.
Low contact, intentional, low impact. It sounds like how I got my wife pregnant. Hey, can I rip into this?
And you go with the other person who's also one of these protected people.
Oh, here we go. Right. This is I hate umpiring, right? I've played the game and I had a great relationship with umpires, right? But, geez, they're trying to take over this sport. Put the freaking whistle away. It's not that hard, umpires, all right? It's not about you. You got your flashy freaking fluoro vests on. You highlighted enough. Razor Ray's not getting a game this week. He's been put onto the subcommittee. He's an emergency. So I don't understand it but it's all about Razor, isn't it? It's all, don't speak to me like that. I don't give a shit. You're an umpire. Show some respect to the players and they'll show some respect back to you like the old school days. Neville Nash, okay? You remember Neville Nash? Ian Robinson. These are the guys who are fantastic umpires.
The guy with the big beard.
Had a relation.
The big mo.
Rowan Saws.
Yes.
These were the days that we had umpires that just were there for the players. Darren Goldspink. Was that a shit umpire decision? Yeah, that was a shit decision. That's the sort of banter they had. Now it's all about, you can't say anything. It's all, woke society. But I'll tell you what, the Geelong Football Club, their major sponsor must be the Marcel Marceau School of Performing Arts. The diving that they do on the weekend, Tom Hawkins throwing it out like a freaking diving off the 3 meters springboard at the Olympics was a
Didn't Danaher get done Didn't Danaher get a fine or something at least when he dived?
I don't know. But did you see some of the ones? Phil Davis had his hands at one stage and went, I don't know what to do. And then if you flip it in, hands in the back. How many times does he push hands in the back? But no, they've put that one away, haven't they?
Yeah.
It's a disgrace the way it's been umpired. The Western Bulldogs, I had a look at the umpiring for team statistics versus what they've been given over the finals. And at the moment, they've been pretty good. They're averaging around about 20 free kicks each team. On the weekend, the Western Bulldogs had 8 more than their season average against Brisbane. And you mentioned it. It's as simple as this. I don't understand the Caleb Daniel one. The one that the big freaking ruckman got, Tim English got the ball up. Apparently there was a block, which I didn't even see. Bontempelli took the ball out of the player's hands in front of him and then went back and didn't do anything. But there's just 3 decisions that were occurring on. It's just I'm just over it, and I can see it. It's not going to happen in a final, but it is going to happen in a final. Something is going to happen, and one team is going to be ruined by it.
Do you want to talk about the Toby tax?
Oh, the Toby tax. The Toby tax. You cannot look me in the eye, listeners, viewers. There is a Toby tax. Toby Green, Joel Selwood. Exactly the same action happens 2 weeks apart. One gets 2 weeks and the other one gets nothing. Line them up side by side. It's like that superannuation ad. One goes up, one goes down. Toby took the elevator down. Joel Selwood takes the elevator up. It's a disgrace, okay? I don't get it. There was nothing in it. Oh, because one got injured and one didn't. It's not that. It should be the action and not the outcome. It just infuriates me, J-Dog, when I see this every week.
Except when the outcome's a concussion from a tackle that you're not allowed to do anymore from from Hawkins, and then it doesn't matter about the outcome.
Oh, it doesn't make any sense, okay? But it won't matter because Dad's Army are playing this week. They're probably going to have like 12 players over the age of 30 this week.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Look, it was just on.
J-Dog, you went hard. You went hard. I'm going to have to put the safety hat on, mate, just to protect myself. You've gone hard so far.
I was just getting a bit over on the weekend. That's all. That's all.
I hear you, big fella. I was frustrated as well too. But yeah, there's plenty of things to talk about right then.
But GWS, let's talk about that. They
this is the one I got the stack hat on for.
They had, once again, the injuries have come back to cruel them. We were talking on Thursday night about Jesse Hogan and how he's going to be the most critical person to that whole system. And when I flicked over and I see him sitting on the bench, I'm like, that's game over. Like, they're done. Himmelberg is not a leading forward target. No. Himmelberg's a second at absolute best. He's a third string level forward.
And literally that was the difference between the two teams.
No Green. Once again, dickhead Green. You shouldn't have done that because you've cost your team potentially a spot in the prelim. They had no fizz.
No.
Geelong, GWS, no fizz. Fizz free.
Yeah, Robbo? No fizz.
No, Robbo, no Robbo.
No Robbo, no fizz, no Greenie. No. They didn't have anything. They didn't have anything up forward, and that's all. That like the inside 50s was, I think, very similar across for both teams. But when you got Cameron and Hawkins versus Himmelberg, and that's really about
Taranto.
To get the game within, I think, 34 points of what it ended up being was a pretty good result. I think that flattered them a lot more than what I thought it would be. But I generally thought they would have been a chance, but the injuries copped them. They had like 8 players out, like 8 guns out. You can't make that back up. And when Phil Davis wasn't even picked and he had to be brought in, that's going to make it even tougher as well. Yeah.
Now, Peps, I want to just reiterate it again. Once again, Geelong, amazing. You've done amazingly well. It was just the weekend. It's just this season has just gotten me a little bit more than other seasons. It's Peps, that's all.
Maybe because we just don't like Geelong?
No, I respect what they do. I really do.
I don't.
Oh, okay. All right, let's move on.
All right. Okay, go for it, buddy.
All right. Let's do Around the Grounds.
Around the Grounds with our newsbreaker to the stars. He may not be a Craig Hutchinson. He may not be a Tom Brown. He may not be a Tom Morris, but he's Jaden Stevenson's dad. And he's our man, Jamie, the J-Dog Wallis.
All right, just some late-breaking news. I don't know, Peps, if you've seen this one here, but just some late-breaking news that Petrarca has gone down with a knee injury late in training today. They don't know about the weekend. I just said that. Look at you, Peps. You are so toey this week, and I thought I'd just test the waters to see where you're at. You are toeier than a 15-year-old boy home alone without the parents. You are toeier than that. Look at you. I was just testing, just seeing where you're at, Peps. Just giving you a bit of a mental shake-up, trying to get in your head. That's not happening. Nothing's like that has happened. Melbourne, you're all good. You're all good. All right.
Don't do things like that, will you?
All right. I was just testing your Peps because you're a bit toey. It's been 64 years for you guys.
Oh, I like this one. Jared Hodgetts. The Cats played at about 75%. Hugh in the rack.
Hey.
Well, I think his spelling is also in the rack as well. I'm stressing. I'm not going to lie. I'm stressing.
Jared Hodgett's the man from the best turf in Melbourne. Go see him.
Is he from Geelong?
Synthetic Project, best turf in Melbourne. No, he's a Melbourne boy. He's Bayside.
No, but is he barrack for Geelong?
Absolutely, he does.
Oh, well, then no wonder why he couldn't spell.
And that's why I love him. He puts his flag in the ground and he stands forward. So I like it, even though he thinks that Chris Scott should be gone. Anyway,
you wanted Ken Inkley gone at the start of the year.
Shut up.
Go through the news. Let's get the news going.
Grand final, it's announced. We have a start time. It's all going ahead. It's going to be a twilight grand final over there for us in Victoria land. It is a 7:15 bounce down.
I like that. I like it.
Not bad.
I don't mind it.
It means that the game's going to finish at around 9:30ish. Then the after 10:30, kids are in bed. Everyone's got their medals and taking photos of nude ladies with their medals around their neck, and we're happy days. So,
like it.
That's much better than last year where it was midnight before you got to go to bed after seeing all the presentations.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a nice time, and it's going to be that nice blend. It's actually, whilst they've got the opportunity to do this, you might as well try Twilight Grand Final to see if it works. Do you remember that final that they played many, many years ago, Hawks versus Adelaide? It was the first Twilight final that they played. It was delicious. It just looked awesome.
Yep.
Start in the daylight, you finish at night. I reckon that's going to be an absolute corker.
Yep, so that's good. 7:15, that's kicking off, Peps. That's I'm excited about that one.
I certainly am.
All right. Just a quick drive-by here. Mark Corder has, from the Carlton Football Club, the president who took over Eddie after his Do Better campaign failed, or whatever that was, has decided to step aside and let Eddie's mate come through. And
what a legacy he's left, Corder. He's brought in a new coach.
New list manager.
New list manager. What a legacy he's left. He's going to leave the club in a much better position than when he got there before Eddie. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Such a short time. New coach, new list manager. The place, he's turned the corner.
Correct. So Jeff Brown is the one who's wanting to go for his job and has been trying to overthrow the board and the coup and all that bullshit through the year. As I said, AFL legal advisor, close friend to Eddie Maguire, and so he's sort of wanting that role moving forward. And last Thursday, Jeff Corder penned a letter to the members saying that he's going to step down from the board at the end of the 2022 season.
Okay.
Nothing really there, just a quick drive-by, and very, 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 very quickly, because I'm absolutely sick of talking about this, Peps. Carlton. Quick overview where we are right now, Peps. They wanted Clarkson. They didn't get Clarkson. There were some conversations happening with Ross the boss, and he thought that he was a shoo-in with all the David Teague stuff going on in the last 6 weeks of the season. He sort of was posturing that way on TV and interviews. What happened is the board got a bit nervous because Luke Sayer sort of did this under-table deal. The board got nervous, and then they told Ross the boss that, sorry, Ross, you're going to have to go through our new process, our new way we're going to do this. And so Ross the boss told him to piss off.
As he should.
So now, at the moment, for people out there, the Carlton fans, they've left with nobody, and the people that they could be looking at have burnt their bridges through other failed coaching successions through either Teague or Bolton. So at the moment, as we know, no one knows what the fuck's going on with Carlton at the moment, other than they haven't got a coach and they don't know who they're going to be getting for a coach.
But they are still a destination club, Joe. They're still a destination club. Destination nowhere. That's where they go. They're poo.
And the knocker is Sarah started to look around at other Melbourne clubs now because he was very highly rated to go to Carlton because they could offer pick 5 or 6 back to Freo. But now he's interviewing at other clubs as well.
Yeah, awesome. Mate, they're a shambles, aren't they?
It's just, I got no other words. You think you can find the bottom with Carlton, and then something else just happens, and they just
they say that
deep.
When you when you do gardening. And you find you dig all the crap away, then you find like a brick or a tile or a big rock, and then you lift up the rock and there's all the grubs and all the yuck and all the scum that's sitting under there, and you're like, ugh, that's Carlton right now. They are shocking.
Yeah.
Why would you want to go there? Their board is a farce.
They don't stand
the
by
president comes out and says, oh, well, you know what? Maybe we're going to play finals next year.
Yeah.
If you were a player, like Adam Chera, perfect example, would you go to Carlton if you were Adam Chera right now, knowing everything? You don't know who the coach is. You don't know who the footy director is, if the footy director is going to stay there.
Yeah.
No wonder why he's picked Melbourne as his destination club. Totally understand. We haven't won anything, but apparently he wants to come. Apparently he was a Melbourne supporter beforehand. So
you've been hanging out with Joel Michael too much, I think.
No, I haven't. And look, Melbourne was poo quite a long time ago. But you know what, Dave Salt's left a message about that. We got our off-field right, and it's transitioned into our on-field. The off-field stability with this club, and you look at the clubs that are not going well, their off-field stability is just not there. The foundations are crumbling. You've got to get that right, because if you want to attract players, you need to say, our president's here, our footy director's here, in charge of coaching is here, is our senior coach, assistant coaches, so you know what you're coming into. Not ifs, buts and maybes, is what the Carlton Football Club are running with at the moment. Okay?
You're copping it tonight, Peps.
I'm copping it tonight. Melbourne, the tank engine. That's okay, Port Tarpalade. Don't start with me.
All right, the biggest story to come out of all of this weekend, Peps, and it's blown up since Sunday night.
Nadia Bartel?
Unfortunately not, Peps. I mean, that was a big story, but that's not we're not here to talk about that.
But Big W, I mean, Kmart plates have gone. They've gone berserk. What a new marketing ploy that was.
Kmart plates have always been amazing. Anyway, Lachie Neale. Who saw this coming? Put your hands up around the room in our chat tonight and all that. No one saw this coming. 5-year deal, and is wanting to go back home 2 years early for family reasons. Wife, having a kid, wants to be around the family support network, and he has just said to the club, I'm out. You signed me for 5, I'm out.
And front-loaded contract, apparently.
Oh, yeah. So
worse.
He obviously had been thinking about this for a while. The club has just lost straight sets out of the finals, and you dropped this on them. And you've dropped this. Yeah. This is big.
It is big because this is going – remember Sydney last year had Tom Papley, same sort of thing, and they held their nerve.
Absolutely.
Essendon did it a couple of years ago with Danaher for the first time, and then the second time they were able to get something out of it. So that's fair enough. I don't like to fence sit, but this one I'm a bit of a fence sitter on. I can understand why he wants to go back.
Totally. Anyone who's had a kid knows that.
And I think the challenge also is that with this COVID situation, he can't get family and friends to come over, and they can't go over the other way. They're stuck because of, let's be honest, Mark McGowan has just shut that whole side of the state off. No one can get in. And they just want to go home. I get that. But I'm also, you knew a 5-year deal. I'm tipping within that 5 years, you knew you were going to potentially try to have children, which is what you've done. He's got a smoking wife, so no doubt you'd want to. But it's a 5-year deal. And also for the fact it was front-ended, you know that they've given up a lot to get you over there. I'm also in the camp of the Lions to go, well, sponge cake. Yeah. You can't do this to us. We've given up so much for you to come across list-wise. We've tried to build everything around you. We've built for the norm. I know you have rewarded us handsomely, best and fairests, Brownlows, finals appearances, etc. But no, I don't think you can. You signed for 5. We're going to keep you at least for that because we have to get something decent in return.
Well, how do you replace someone in the last 3 seasons he's been there? He's won 2 best and fairest, 2 All-Australians, and the 2020 Brownlow medal. How do you value that, and who out there has a deal that can fill that? Fremantle will get whatever pick they get for Chera. They'll send that back over to Brisbane. Brisbane will probably get another high draft pick from somewhere. I think they've got one sitting there anyway. So they'll be able to choose that. Neil's been a better player since he's been at Brisbane than when way better.
We could send him Jimmy Tumpus and Dave Roden, the love machine. Yeah, we could do. We could send him over that way as well too. But the thing is, here's the thing. This is going to be a bit of a controversial statement. Are Brisbane that good though?
Yeah.
After what you saw on the weekend, are they that good?
They've made the finals 3 years in a row now.
I know,
Peps.
but they can't take that next step. They've lost 5 out of their last 6 finals.
I'm not prepared this year. Like you with GWS, I know you and I at the start of the season argued about this a bit. They've just been cruelled with injury. Brisbane in the forward 50.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, see, they've lost Rayner. They lost Hipwood. Yeah, they've probably got a bit there. But I think if they lost Neil, would that be a travesty for them?
Averages 34 plus possessions in the centre. Yep.
Mate, I saw him have 48 against Melbourne a few weeks ago and did nothing. Okay, so possessions.
Yeah, but you also don't win 2 All-Australians, 2 best and fairest and a Brownlow.
Possessions are like Nadia. You can rack them up if you want to.
Not if you got Nadia's lines.
Not if you got Nadia's.
They're thin.
Everything. But
what do you do? But this is someone in the last 3 years has had an amazing career.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just this one stinks, Peps. I don't know about this one.
I reckon there's going to be a lot to play out, and it's also going to mean a lot for the final, the trade coming up in a few weeks' time as well too, because the sniffing has started to come around already. But yeah, this could be a big one because they reckon it wasn't going to be a big trade type of scenario this year. But if this actually happens, it could set everything alight.
It's just one of those things, Peps. Like if we're not talking, $80,000 a year for the average Australian wage. Like we're not talking those sort of figures. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, and soft caps being reduced, and memberships being sold, and money is absolutely scarce across the AFL. And to not even have a conversation with the club about, you support my family, we do this, we're all talking about the family, to not then reciprocate that back to the club and say, this is what I'm thinking, and flag it early so at least the club can get a run at it and not just come out.
It doesn't pass the sniff test for me.
It's once again, I love the fake tweet coming out of
but I could actually see him writing that. That was the thing. Everybody who saw Mitch Robinson's fake tweet, if you were not like us two and go, he could actually have written that. Interesting. All right,
look,
mate.
I don't know. It's just one of those things, Peps, for me.
All right. Hey, listen, I reckon you said it perfectly. It is a lot of money to clubs every single year, so I reckon that's probably a nice little segue into one of our newest segments, which people are loving on the chat, which is a bit of Splash the Cash. And when we splash the cash, we have to bring out the money.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Money talk. Money.
Ooh, yeah. Splash the cash, dollar. All right, splash the cash time. Contract news as of today, the 7th of September. Okay, Malcolm Rosas into 2-year new deal with the Gold Coast Suns. He was looking at one stage, Essendon, both fingertips Dodoro-like into him, but he's rejected it, and he's staying at Gold Coast, which is a really good statement for that club. To have a young player who's been playing some really good footy to be saying, look, I want to stay here. So that's awesome. Lockie Schultz, same thing. Also, Hawks were looking his way, but he's signed for another 2 years at the Dockers. Probably had his best season this year and was one of their best goal kickers, which is awesome. Adam Chera, watching this space as interviews happening at clubs in Melbourne. People have said Carlton, but with all the debacles that have been going on with Carlton, probably may not want to go there until that stabilises. Mate, we haven't even got a coach.
And salary cap as well.
Melbourne are into him. I know that as well. But the thing with Melbourne is, what can they offer? And if you think Fremantle are going to get Luke Jackson, get stuffed. No chance. Matt Crouch signed for 2 more years at the Crows. I know St Kilda were having a look to get his brother Brad, but he said, no, I'm going to stay at the Crows. Awesome. Love it. Callum Coleman-Jones, another one of the hyphens, is another 2-year extension from Richmond, so good to him. And Liam Duggan has a 3-year deal in front of him at West Coast as well too. So we're going to hear more about the signings, a bit more of the cash coming around in the next couple of weeks when teams sort of fall out of finals, etc. But there's some of the contract news coming in right now. Money. What do you reckon, J-Dog? Any of those catch your eye?
Probably the one that caught my eye the most was Roses staying up there at Gold Coast.
Yep.
Because they seem to be building a nice little thing there. We've got a couple of players who there have decided to say, I'm up here for the long term. We've got Raul up there. We've got his mate as well up there. What's his name?
Yep.
Anderson, thank you. It's going to sound self-indulgent or inward for my club, but we had the same with Travis Boak and Robbie Gray and these players here who had offers to go back to Victoria, but they said, I'm going to stick in. Jackson Trengove's on as well. They said, we're going to stick in and we're going to build this club back when we were putting tarps on seats. And look where we are now, 10
And
seasons
that's that
down the road.
stability that I'm talking about. You get it off field. Yep, okay, I can see where the club's going. I'm willing to stay. And that's a perfect example for you.
I hope it works for Gold Coast because as we said, it's not a nice place up there at the moment.
And the rumour being thrown around is trying to get Clarkson up at the end of next season because he wants to have that year off. They're looking at $2 million a year. They're trying to entice him with. Would you take it? Would you take it?
Sunny weather, a part-time role at a football club for $2 million a season. Yeah, I'd do that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Yep. Beautiful. Hey, Lee Mack's joined us. Lee Mack, he's part of our jump out segment when we do our racing tips and so forth throughout the year, and Burnout, our other sister podcast, which doesn't really exist, but we like to call it on our Formula One updates. Jamie, show us your
to Lee Mack
testament to Lee Mack.
Yep, just a quick
Sorry,
one.
our Lee Mack episode last year.
Just a quick
how
one
we
for.
filmed it. Yep, that's how we filmed it.
Are we okay with that, everyone?
That's how we do. That's
Lee
how we
Mack,
go.
this is for you, just to
That's
do
for
a
you, Lee Mack.
podcast.
All righty. Hey, listeners, brand new segment because it was just mentioned a moment ago with J-Dog talking about the Gold Coast Suns and starting to get a bit of a feel up there. I want to introduce a new segment to us all, and this one is called You're the Best and fairest winners so far announced for 2021. And look, when you think about You're the Best and your best and fairest winner, there's only one backing track that this particular type of segment can have, and this is going to bring back your inner Daniel LaRusso.
Try to be best, cause you're only a man.
This is the one. So let's get into it, everybody. So the Adelaide Crows had their Malcolm Blight medal.
Hey, Peps.
During the week.
Before we go on, I like to call these ones the losers, best and fairest, because you're not in the finals. It's all for the
You're the
losers.
around. Everybody's singing this as we go along. We're
All
like,
right.
sweep the leg. Look
Adelaide.
at all the comments coming in. I love it. All right. Adelaide Crows, Malcolm Blight medal. Rory Laird on 123 votes took it out, which is great because he got his first one as a backman and he's got his next one as a midfielder, which is awesome. Second was Ben Keys and Paul Seaman. Very stiff not to get an All-Australian nod. Had a cracking season on the wing. Do you reckon that the Pies are looking back going, should have kept him?
Maybe.
Probably stuffed up another one. Okay. Rightio, here's what we're talking about. I've been on this guy for the entire year, and we're talking about Touk Miller. He's the Gold Coast Suns Club champion, and really, was there anybody else who was going to get near him?
562 points.
He finished on 562 points, which is probably the total number of points Gold Coast kicked for the season. The nearest player was literally 170 behind him, okay, which was Will Powell and David Swallow, coming third, which is great from one of their inaugural players. So he's just coming along nicely as well too. The Richmond Tigers had their Jack Dyer medal, and Dylan Grimes won this one, probably because there was a lot of ball being seen in Geelong's backline throughout this entire season, and so they had
Richmond,
the eyes on him.
Yeah.
Yep. At Rich, what did I say?
Geelong.
Well, it'll be this week anyway. Geelong. So we got he won against Jack Graham, Liam Baker 46, and Shai Bolton on 45 as well too. So second, there was a bit of a tie there as well. And last but not least, Luke Parker wins his third Bobby Skilton medal. Second was Jake Lloyd, and someone who's looking a little bit into the potential moving due to salary cap reasons, etc., could be Jordan Dawson, and he came third. So there's the winners of the best and fairest so far, and every single week we'll have more of an announcement on those. So just remember one thing, fellas. When you look at yourselves in the mirror,
Hey, Peps.
Yeah, mate.
It just occurred to me the Gold Coast don't have a name for their award. I think we should call it the Michael Riscatelli Award.
Oh, I was going to go the Carmichael Hunt.
Yeah, or the Campbell Brown.
I would actually name it after Jared Harbrow.
Jared Harbrow. Nathan Bock.
Ooh.
The Nathan
Campbell
Bock
Brown.
medal. Yeah, Josh Fraser. They need to call it something. You can't just have the Gold Coast.
I know. No, they'll figure something out. He's a club champion, but Took Mel love him. So congratulations to the 4 winners there.
And you done Sydney Swans yet?
I did the Sydney Swans. Bob Skilton medal. I did. Tune into the show. Yeah, tune into the show, Jamie.
Sorry, Peps. Sorry.
You're not eye candy and you're not ear candy at this particular stage. Hey, now one other thing. We know that's been some great news. Signings.
Always.
We've also had some winners as well too with the best and fairest, etc. But you know what? Unfortunately, we've got our retirements, and there's obviously people who are moving on, whether it's forced, which is most of them, or it's also going to be retired as well too. So just to sort of take this to the next level, we're also going to
the Gonski files.
Pull out the Gonski files.
Alrighty-o.
We've got James again here, and let's go through them as well too. So the Hawks have culled 5 players from their list this year. Keegan Brooksby, James Cousins, Damon Graves, Michael Hartley, and Harrison Pepper have all been delisted this year. That goes on top of Johnny Snapchat Patton and also Tom Scully as well. Burgoyne as well.
Retired, yeah. The Roos?
The Kangaroos. Another cull. This is the second Kangaroo cull that's happened this year.
They had people on their list and more to cull.
I didn't think they had any more left, exactly right. But Taylor Gardner's gone. Connor Menadue has been left out. Dom Tyson and also Will Walker have also been delisted by the club. West Fremantle have also come out and gone whooshka with a number of their pickups as well too. So Brett Bewley, Reece Conker. I think it was serviceable for his time over there at West Coast.
Got a premiership medal.
Yep. Taylor Durman, Stefan Giro, Lino Thomas, and Toby Watson. Toby Watson sounds like that's something that would be in like the AFL Nintendo game.
It's very new age. Toby, TOBE.
Or you'd get that off Wish.com or AliExpress. And West Coast, they've got rid of a couple as well. So Brendan Archie and Mark Hutchings have also been delisted as well too. So goodbye, my lovers, and goodbye, my friends, gentlemen. Congratulations on great careers and all the best with your future endeavours.
Yeah, and some may be picked up in the VFL systems, other AFL. We're talking in here, we've got Taylor Garner, who was a top 15 pick from the Roos, so he may get a rebirth somewhere. Brendan Archie's onto his second club with West Coast, so who knows what happens after there. But yeah,
you're struggling a bit in your career if you're getting delisted from the bottom team.
Yeah,
like that's the bottom of the bottom. That's you could almost find Carlton's coach down there. That's how far down we are.
Let's talk about the other one, Peps. The other segment. We've got to talk about the injuries. Righty-o. So quick, I'll just run through these very quickly. All 4 clubs are looking actually pretty good, other than one. Geelong, other than Mark O'Connor, which he blew his hamstring in the first final, no one of note that we know about in terms of injury. They're all good.
Braden Parfitt, hamstring, will be going into surgery. So that's going to be a massive loss because he's their highest tackler for the Cats for the entire year. So
sorry, I left one on the list. Yes. Jaden Hunt for Melbourne is set to return after his ankle injury, which is great news. Does it cause a bit of an issue for the selection, Peps?
Well, it depends on how you're going to take it. Do you want someone with pace out the back line? But kicking is a little bit, has got better, I must admit.
Has got way better.
Jake Bowie, who has playing his, I think, 5th game coming up and looking mighty fine. His disposal is sublime. So you're either going to go accuracy over speed.
Yeah. And Bowie hasn't looked.
I'd go for the speed factor.
Okay. Yep. And you're prepared to turn it over if you have to?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Because they're old and we'll catch them.
Yep, I like it. Western Bulldogs, as I said, belter of a game on the weekend, but they have got two big injuries coming out of it. Cody Waitman, concussion. So he got subbed off in the second quarter after a run-in with the ruckman for Brisbane. Can't remember his name now.
He ran into Marcus Adams.
Oh, Marcus Adams, sorry. You're right. Went off. They didn't use the word concussion. Western Bulldogs are very, very clever not using concussion, but I think that they approached the AFL and the AFL said, don't you fucking dare. We know the AFL are red hot on concussions and brain injuries, so they are not going to take a risk.
So he had a delayed
like
concussion. After they asked, he then got concussion symptoms.
he had low, mild concussion symptoms. And then the big one, Peps. This is a good study of football injuries. Bontempelli, he went off with a sore knee with about 3 minutes to go. They're saying he's right for this week, but he did not come back on for the game in the final 3 minutes when it was there in the cut and thrust of it all. If he really was just a bit sore, would you lead him off or would you get him on that ground and he just hobbles around for 3 minutes?
You don't put him on.
Okay, so you reckon he's genuinely injured? They're foxing a bit?
Well,
this week?
I think to be honest, mate, if he plays, you think he's not going to be 100%. The thing that also made that worse was if you watch the footage of him going down, there's somebody who actually lands on the back of his leg at the same time.
Mm.
And so that sort of took it to the next level. It didn't look that bad. It just looked like a knee driven into the turf at that particular time.
Yeah, he just fell hard. Yeah.
So I don't know. They don't say there's any structural damage, but it's definitely going to be swollen. He's not going to be perfect. A couple of jabs in the knee, and he should be okay. I think he'll play. I think what have you got to lose? If he's not going to do his knee because there's no structural image. Okay, you could ask, is a 50% Bont better than 100% 23rd player?
No.
Then you're playing. Even if you put him down at full forward, someone's still going to have to take him.
Yeah.
All right. The midfield bat's pretty deep as well too. So, yeah, I think he was a bit better last week, I must admit. But, there's goals he's been kicking that he wasn't doing on the weekend. So I think there is something there. I think Lee Mack's got something. He hasn't been right for his last 6 weeks. But, yeah.
Okay. I was just interested.
I would have loved to have seen Waitman go against your back line, and I would love to see a fit Bond.
Yeah.
So, I think, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one for them to win, especially with their forward line not firing as well as it does.
Yeah.
By the way, are you playing a top 8 team?
Yeah, but we've buried that.
Dixon won't kick anything.
That's all right. Yeah,
who cares if Robbie Gray's kicking 6?
Oh, that's exactly right. All right, that's it for our injuries, Peps.
Yep.
Now to a listener question.
Listener question. So, listener question, wrap them. I'll get you to pump this out. So, last week's listener question, J-Dog, was if you were to bring one food item to the party, what would you bring?
Oh.
Rip through some of the responses because they were some absolute corkers.
We did, and we had a great amount of responses. We had people who were bringing things like the chicken crimpies. As I said, it's a fan favourite with mine. I'm always going to be that. What else do we have in there, Peps? Do you remember off the top of your head? Pav, I think Pav was bought. I think someone said Pav.
Someone said deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs.
Oh.
Like it's just
tequila. There was plenty of tequilas being thrown around. A slab.
Guacamole. We had Fleming Josh. He said that he's going to bring in the sangria because it's got food. It's got fruit in the sangria, so that's absolutely fine to bring.
Hey, Craigie Wessels from the US picked about 100 pounds of apples. He's bringing them on the weekend.
Well, there we go. Fermented grapes in a bottle. That was a very popular one. Homemade sausage rolls. Yes, thank you, Tori. I will absolutely have them.
Came out. That was from my 92-year-old next-door neighbour, John.
Irene has said passion fruit sponge, wine, chocolate babka. I don't know what that is, but Peter, thank you for bringing that.
Jamie bread. There were a few people who were bringing Jamie bread.
Chocolate, spring rolls, barbecue shake, chicken crimpies, as we said from John Michael, mini quiches, pizza, chocky cake, sausage rolls, watermelon.
Hey, how many chocolate ripple cakes came out? That's what I'd be bringing. I'd be the chocolate ripple cake with the crumbled peppermint crisp on top.
Jazz.
Bailey's in the cream.
Jazzy said he's going to bring sausages. Yeah, I like it. Nick.
Jazzy loves the snag.
Nick was offended. He's like, what the F? I'm coming to the party. You give me the food. But he did say he'd bring a packet of Doritos just in case.
Port Adelaide people don't bring, they take. It's all thieves.
All right. So thank you for everyone who got involved with that one there. Peps, what would you bring to a party? What was the thing that you
chocolate ripple cake. I'm bringing a chocolate ripple cake. Yep. With Bailey's in the cream and peppermint crisp on top.
Okay. Yep. I'm going to bring chicken crimpies, salt and vinegar chips, and I would also pack in a packet of retro party mix.
Are you going to put any effort in, or are you just going to go straight down to the IGA and pick them straight off the shelf?
Well, what are you doing?
I'm making my chocolate ripple cake. I'm showing some love.
You're not making
It also
that.
depends. If I was coming to your house, I wouldn't spend any time. But if I was going into any over the listeners' houses, of course I'd put some effort into it.
Hey,
but if I was going to your joint,
you know.
Oh no, I'll do it for your wife.
Alira does the cooking, and you know the cake you know the baking that she can produce.
Yes, I do. Now, listener question for this week. What have you got for us?
All right, so this one here is going to be a series of questions I'm going to ask over the next couple of weeks. Ultimately, what I'm going to try and do is build a list. So the question this week is, what is the ultimate footy food? And what
footy food at the footy or at home?
Just at the footy or at home, because what I want to do is I'm building up to the grand final like our football teams are. I want to create a bit of a list that we can share on our Facebook that will ultimately, you can have the ultimate grand final day. So I want to get the food right this week, and then next week I'll focus on the next list. Mm-hmm. So this week, what is the ultimate footy food? It can be party pies. It can be sausage rolls. It can be the little boys, the little hot dogs.
Jamie's. The little J-dogs.
I want you to, is it pigs in a blanket? Do we start somewhere around the sausages? Is Rue Boy going to bring in the sausages, and then in the afternoon stick into something else?
I love it. It's a good one, J-Dog. I like the way that you're building into grand final day.
I just want to build a list that we can all just print off or look at Facebook and go, Laceout's got us. We've got the suggestions. I don't have to go and think about it. I just go on Facebook and there it is. Food. And then my next list.
Just really quickly, one of the things that's quickly jumped into the chat, Lee Mack has gone vodka jelly shots. Now, is that a food or a drink?
That's fine.
Is that a food?
That is that you're making that. You're not just bringing vodka. You're bringing that. Beautiful. That's fine.
Sensational. Craig, he goes, I'll be watching the grand final in the middle of the night over there in the States. I'm just having coffee and toast with.
I love Craig.
He's just a superstar.
Coffee,
we should get him on.
Toast and Vegemite and cheese.
That's brilliant. Let's do this. I was going to say if Geelong make the grand final, I'll get him on from the States next week.
I love it. I love the fact that he even knows how to use Vegemite correctly over there in the US, because they get it horribly wrong.
Oh, they just get a lot of things wrong. They got gun control issues and economy issues. And
all right, let's go through some of the questions that our people have, some feedback and some things that our listeners have got. If you've got a question out there for Peps and I, we've got about 4 minutes. Please.
Anything you want to ask us, ask
4
us
minutes
now.
of the show. Chuck it in the chat.
J-Dog, which game are you looking forward to more this week? The one that involves your team or the one that involves my team?
The one that involves your team.
I'm looking after the one that involves your team.
I tell you what. I'll put it on the chat. I'll put it out there right now. If it's Geelong Port Adelaide Grand Final again, I am going to have it. I won't be able to work next week. I'll be having full PTSD, full-time PTSD.
That's all right, because you've got 2 weeks to worry about it, because there's a week between.
It'd be even worse then.
If it's a Melbourne Port Adelaide, I'll tell you now. If Melbourne Port Adelaide make the grand final, I'm going to be writing to the Herald Sun. So the both of us get a one of those write-ups, because you know how they usually get people from the same family who bag for the same team. We're a podcast where the people who host it are these teams. We're going to do it, all right? But,
never in a million years did I think that we would ever be doing a podcast and potentially our teams could make the grand final, ever.
And, yeah, exactly. Will Mr. Saturday be world champion next year? J-Dog.
Will Mr. Saturday be world champion? Mr. Saturday.
Might need to
Lee Mack, I hope so. I like George Russell, and I hope so. I'm very, very happy.
Here? Basketball.
We're talking burnout here. Formula One. George Russell has just quickly signed over to the Mercedes F1 team, and Bottas, who was the co-driver to Lewis Hamilton, is now joining Alfa Romeo, which is a bottom team.
Fantastic. Good on you, big fella.
Yeah, good one. Port Melbourne finals predicted on Melbourne 2021 season preview.
Love Machine picked that.
Yeah, did he? Good
Yeah,
work.
Mark and the Funky
Thanks,
Bunch go
Mark.
back. Yeah, good on him. He goes all right, the Love Machine. Gee, my niece and nephew are awesome.
Quick, Lee Max, just directly to you and all our F1 fans out there, please never go back to that track my whole life ever again. By lap 9, we're talking the leader was 36 seconds up on everyone up to 9th spot. Like, it was a terrible
Was
race.
it that much of a debacle?
It was terrible.
Bit like the 2007 grand final, was it?
Peps, the track is as wide as a trestle table. You couldn't pass a car.
Alrighty.
I've been saying pork for the weeks. Thank you, Nick.
So, really quickly out there, listeners, we've got a couple of minutes until we wrap this bad boy up. Write it on the Facebook page now. Drop it in the comments, or as you're listening to this, who is going to win the preliminary finals this week and by how much? So let's just find out just who's going to win and by how much. Thank you very much. I shouldn't have got Lee Mack. Now he's reminding me of the 88 grand final. Or he'll even go the 87 prelim. We'll keep going. He just doesn't shut up. Good bloke, though. Good bloke.
Peps, how are you feeling?
As every day goes, I'm feeling worse and worse and worse.
Okay, because you're a Friday night, like, you can completely ruin your weekend with it. That's the worst part.
It's going to be shocking. Yeah, it seems to be everybody's. Seriously, Craig, if the Cats win by 4 with Gary Rowan to kick a goal after the siren, you'll never be on this show ever again. I will bar you. I will write to our hosting company to make sure that you get barred. And then I'm going to write to your podcast company and I'm going to get you barred from your one.
Oh, dear. Well, this is the thing. All the talk about Western Bulldogs and missing their two most important players is like prime Port Adelaide loss.
Yep.
And that's what I'm worried about.
Melbourne's going to win against Dad's Army is just making me more and more nervous.
Yeah.
It's making me very, very nervous. But it's just Geelong. I don't know which Geelong. Look, I don't know if this extra week that they've played like other weeks is going to make it harder for them. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm a little bit concerned about too. So, it's just, to relax, 2 words for you, Gary Rowan. Exactly right. I think you're going to win quite easily on Saturday night. I just think too much travelling. And just that extra week. They had a tough game last week, and I think it's going to make it hard. They had to go back. They went from Tassie to Queensland to Adelaide to Perth,
and then back to Adelaide.
It's tough. Yeah, it's going to be tough for them. And we're playing Geelong. So how do you think we're going to go?
I actually think you're going to go really well. I don't think you're going to let them get out to a 44-point lead, but in the same time, I can't deny the fact that it actually happened.
Yeah, but if you have a look what happened, then everything went perfectly right for them.
Yeah.
Okay, and outside of that 15 minutes, we outplayed them for the rest of the game. So, look, all I'm going to say, big fella, this time on Thursday night, we're going to go through both of the teams. So we're going to be live again on Thursday night with Tipped Out, going through the teams. I'm going to analyse your game. You're going to analyse my game, just to take the bias out of it. And also, most important thing is that join on the chat. We're going to be like this as well too. And then by this time next week, we're going to be working our way towards the 2021 AFL Grand Final. So everybody's joined us on the chat tonight. It's been awesome. Love your work. Everybody's listening to this. Thank you very much. Give us a review on iTunes. Share it with your friends. All those people that listen to the commercial type of podcasts, tell them that they're absolute flogs and they should be listening to this one because this is absolutely sensational too. So let's get into a team. J-Dog, once again, thank you for tonight. And more importantly, how do you love your football?
I like it. Lace out.
And so do I. Good luck to your team, mate, Friday night. And good luck to your families out there, everybody else.
See you, listeners.
Thanks for listening to our latest episode. If you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on iTunes. I'm your host, Chris Pepper, and with Jamie Wallis, we give you your footy how you want it. Peace out.